Now, under siege, the headlines scream tough action on asylum seekers against the backdrop of a Europe overrun by refugees, but many of them are fleeing genuine persecution, even within countries at the head of the queue to join the European Union. Hungary's 500,000 Roma gypsies are routinely persecuted and harassed, unwanted by society and unwelcome abroad. Over the past few weeks, we've been reporting on the impact of the mass movement of migrants around the world. Tonight, our Foreign Affairs correspondent Gabi Rado reports from Hungary. Might their second-class citizens be Fortress Europe's next asylum seekers?
Since the days of communism, things have got much worse for gypsies in Hungary. As the country prospers, there's no room for the Romas. It may soon become an all-European problem. This group of gypsy villagers from western Hungary fled to France last summer to seek political asylum. If things don't improve, they could be followed by more of the country's 500,000 strong Roma.
Ők voltak az első olyan szervezett csoport, amely közösen lépett fel, hogy mondjuk egymás hátának feszítették a hátukat, védték és kitartanak egymás mellett, és közösen léptek fel több évig tartó üldöztetésük ellen.
The system they ran away from has produced a grotesque statistic. It's visible here at Budapest's central prison. The proportion of Roma amongst the inmates is around 60%. In the country at large, it's around 5%. It's hard to get in here if you're a foreign TV crew, but not if you're a gypsy. They're about 10 times more likely to end up in jail than white-skinned Hungarians. Perhaps the reason there are so many is that when gypsies do commit crime, they're treated more harshly. I spoke to a Roma jailed for armed robbery.
15 évet. Akkor az arány. És magyar volt az illető, aki megölte a feleségét, mert megölte a szomszédját. Mert rajta kapta, hogy na. És kapott itt 8 évet. És akkor hol az arány? Tehát ezért. Na, itt is látszik, hogy magyar és cigány.
To understand that point, I needed to see how discrimination affected the Roma's lives.
I've heard there's a group of Roma families living on the outskirts of Budapest. It means driving out of the elegant parts of the city that the tourists get to see and going to the less exclusive parts.
In this slum, a house probably built for just one family, we found more than 60 people living in and around the courtyard. Hidden from view like this, there's an effective apartheid in Hungary, not enforced by laws but by custom. The separate worlds of gypsy housing, education and employment. In here, just about all the men over 18 have been to jail at some time. Nobody has a proper job. The main source of income, apart from social benefits, is from selling scrap aluminium and copper salvaged from old office equipment. In the old days, the communists found jobs for everyone.
Nem mint a kádárrendszer volt, a kádárrendszer az nagyon jó volt. De már hol vagyunk? Most visszaszámolunk a 71, 72, 80-as 200 évet? Visszaszámolni? Ezt kérem, már nem lehet.
The children go to special schools, though they have none of the handicaps of their Hungarian classmates. The parents of this boy, who's very bright, have been trying to move into a regular school with no success. He says his teacher insults him because he's a gypsy. She says I'm bad and smelly, a piece of garbage.
Félelmetes, majdhogy nem Goebbelszi logikára épül. Nevezetesen arra, hogy ha cigány vagy, és nyomorult vagy, akkor te tehetsz róla. Ha cigány vagy, és gazdag vagy, akkor biztos, hogy bűnöző vagy. Ha magyar vagy, és úgy élsz, mint a cigányok, arról te tehetsz.
And the prejudice doesn't seem to end there. Human rights activists from the Hungarian Helsinki Committee are authorized to carry out surprise visits to police stations because of concerns over the treatment of those detained. In the very first cell they visit, a gypsy who's been in police custody for 1.5 months complains of brutality during his arrest.
Körülbelül 10-15-en kaptak el, egy ideje a lakásba bemenekültük, megadtuk magunkat, lebilincseltek és elkezdtek rugdosni.
Tehát már meg volt a bilincselés?
Igen, az arcomat, a gyomromat. Hát ezt a rohadt cigány, büdös cigány, ez a szokásos megjegyzés, ez végigment, de nem ismerem.
His account was confirmed by another gypsy arrested at the same time but held in a different cell.
I think they were telling the truth. I think the police love beating people, love getting the evidence very quickly and swiftly. And beating a person into a confession is the easiest way to get the case done. And I think it's easier to beat a gypsy. It's easier to get away with it.
The researchers found that gypsy pre-trial prisoners seem to spend twice as long in jail as white Hungarians.
Előítéletek régebben is voltak, csak nem nagyon lehetett beszélni róluk. Ma a romák öntudata sokkal erősebb, mint korábban volt, és a jogtalanságokat sokkal hangosabban teszik szóvá, mint korábban.
This group of Roma from the village of Zamoy felt the injustice against them was threatening their lives. When their homes were bulldozed, they sheltered in a village centre. What happened to them next, a racial attack which resulted in the death of a white youth, led to their seeking political asylum in Strasbourg. Their case is that gypsies are a persecuted minority.
Életveszélyesen megfenyegették őket, és többször volt olyan, hogy oda mentek a lakáshoz, a bátyám lakására, beverték az ablakokat, és horogkereszteket fújtak sprével a lakása oldalára, és megmondták, hogy innen el kell mennetek, mert itt meg fogtok halni.
If gypsies are beginning to leave Hungary, it's because they've given up hope after 600 years of exclusion. They've learned to distrust the legal system, however much reformed in the past decade. Their remaining hope is the West.
Az nem igaz, hogy Magyarországon nyugalom van, hogy Magyarországon biztosítottak az emberi jogok, és így tovább, ez nem igaz. Hát ez így igaz lenne, akkor nem kellene Strasbourgba meneküljenek.
The desperation of the gypsies of Central and Eastern Europe, up to 6 million in number, may well bring about the last great wave of ethnic migration of the continent's people. The poverty and prejudice amongst which most of them live out their lives can't for much longer be considered someone else's problem. Gabirado, Channel 4 News, Budapest.